Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Samson, the Roadman. If you're new here, kindly consider subscribing, turn on the bell notification so that whenever I do post a new video, you guys shouldn't miss like any single of my upload. Alright guys, so in today's video, we'll be looking at how can a foreigner or a non-Zambian basically own land in Zambia. Okay, so that's the video for today. Like I have said, I've done quite a number of videos about land in Zambia, you know, the cost of plots, you know. I've also shown you a number of beautiful residential areas, and of course some other residential areas which we call ghettos or slums or whatever name that you may wish to give them. So I've actually done videos about dangerous neighborhoods that you don't need to visit actually as a foreigner because it's dangerous, you know. So I've done a lot of videos around Lusaka especially, and these other parts of Zambia. Okay, so today I want to look at this. How can somebody that is a non-Zambian be able to own land in Zambia? We all need land, you know, for us to do business or maybe to build a house where we're going to actually live, you know, and things like that. So let me begin by mentioning that in Zambia we actually have two land tenure system. Okay, now the first one is what we call a customary tenure system. Now what this is all about is that you buy land from this is land actually that is owned by the traditional chiefs or the local chiefs right here in Zambia. So from there, if you want land, you can actually approach any chief and ask them for that land, and if they sell it to you, of course you have to go through a process for you to get like a title deed, of which it's a very tedious process, which I don't think I should encourage actually foreigners to do, but you may need to know it. But it's a process where you need to submit like your plans. What do you intend to do with that land? You know the plan of the same land. You submit it to the chief. The chief reverts back if he's okay with it. You submit it to the commissioner and stuff like that. So the process is just way too long for you to get like papers for it. Okay, so why do you need papers for such kind of land? You need papers because, like it is said, that traditional land or customary land is not private in nature. So you know what that means, yeah? So it's not private by nature, but then that's why you need to get papers for it so that it becomes like your personal land. Okay, that's about the traditional. I've done a video on the steps that you need to go through for you to obtain a title deed for a customary land. Okay, so that video I'll actually link it up at the end of this video so that you guys that are watching can actually get there and watch that particular video, you know. So yeah, having said that, let me move to the next one, which statutory tenure of land. Okay, so under statutory tenure of land, this is land that can be owned by an individual or the government, the local authority, if I may put it that way. The local authority, I mean a government institution like the council, you know. So they may you can buy land from any of these, a private individual or the local council. Okay, but now as a foreigner, if you buy that land, that land comes with a title because it's titled land already, you know. So but then if you're a foreigner, how can you get land in Zambia? Okay, so basically we'll be looking at the statutory tenure in this case, because I don't want you to go through that vigorous process, that tedious process involved in the customary tenure. So let us look at how can a foreigner or a non-Zambian own land under the statutory tenure. Okay, so under the statutory tenure, like I've explained, there are two ways now in which a foreigner or a non-Zambian can actually own land. What's the first one? So under the statutory tenure, I would discourage people to actually go the other way, you know, that getting the traditional land, or what we call customary land, because of the process that is involved, of which I actually have a video. I will link it up at the end of this one. Okay, so by law, for non-Zambians, there are two ways in which you can actually own land in Zambia, and let's talk about them. The first one is the law stipulates that an individual who is not a Zambian can own land in Zambia if they open a company in Zambia partnering with a Zambian. And just listen very carefully. And under that company, a Zambian should own about 75% of shares in that particular company. So that means you, as somebody that is coming into Zambia, you need to own 25% of shares in that particular company. That also means that it gives you access to own now land. Why? Because you've got shares in a certain company that is operating in Zambia. You've got 25% shares in a company that is operating within Zambia. Okay, so that's the first way you can own land in that. So in this case, you can go either way. You can go to traditional land, which we call customary land, under the customary tenure. But like I said, for you to get papers for that land, it's a long process. But using a shortcut or a good one, it's actually you going to a company that has a company or a government or a private individual that has land which is on title, which is what we're calling now statutory tenure land. You know, so you can basically find somebody with a land that is on title, verify that it's indeed their land and stuff like that, and you buy it. Why? Because you are backed up as a foreigner who has invested in Zambia, who has partnered with a Zambian, and you own 25% of shares in a company that is domiciled here in Zambia. Okay, so that's one way in which you can actually own land as a foreigner right here in Zambia. Okay, but then what is the other way? Second one is where you open a company and you involve ZDA, Zambia Development Agency. Okay, ZDA. Now, ZDA is a government institution that is mandated to promote investment, foreign investment into Zambia. You know, so you go to them, you open a company, and you register it. You get a certificate from the ZDA. That certificate will allow you to own land. But then let me talk about the ZDA a little bit, because so when you open a company and then you register it under ZDA, definitely you'll be automatically entitled to own land. But then for you to actually register with ZDA, there are certain qualifications which are required for you to qualify in this sense. Okay, so what are these qualifications? Number one is that your company should be able to pledge that in the next 5 to 10 years you are going to invest in Zambia about $1 million US. Okay, that's the first one. A pledge. So it doesn't mean that you really need to have money sitting in your bank account right here in Zambia. No, but you need to pledge that at least you're going to invest in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to invest a $1 million US in Zambia. Okay, but then you also need to prove that you have a bank account in Zambia, and that bank account should have at least like $50,000 US or $100,000 US as proof. Okay, so those are some of the qualifications that are needed for you to obtain the ZDA certificate. I know you might also need to get things like if you have a company where you're coming from, you need to show compliance in terms of if, for example, if there are audits that were done at your company, you need to submit those audits and how they went and stuff like that. Then you also need things like the bank account. If you have a bank account, where you're coming from, also show it so that it can back you up, so that you can easily actually get that ZDA certificate. So ZDA in this instance is very crucial, and also just to be clear, you need to have a bank account in Zambia, okay, and you need to transfer to show that you've been transferring money via that bank account right here in Zambia. So that bank account should have at least enough funds, like for example, 50 US dollars, 50,000 US dollars, that is 100,000 US dollars, yeah, and things like that. So these things are what will be required for the Zambia Development Agency to give you that certificate, which will enable you to actually own land here in Zambia. Okay, so let me just do a conclusion on the two ways in which a foreign can actually own land in Zambia. So I said number one is by a person coming from outside Zambia partnering with a local Zambian, of which 75% will be owned by the local Zambian and 25% will be owned by you, who is just coming into the country. Okay, that partnership may be in form of forming a company, you know, and things like that. Then also the second one is where you involve the Zambia Development Agency, which is a government institution that it's a government institution that is actually mandated to promote Zambian, or actually foreign investment into Zambia, you know. So that's ZDA. So you involve them during the incorporation of your company, so that company will purely be owned by foreigners or non-Zambians. If I may say, you don't need a Zambian in this instance, so you can incorporate that company, and then while here it's a process where you need to show you need to give a pledge to the ZDA that you are actually going to you can actually pledge that you are going to invest in the next 5 to 10 years amount of money amounting to about 1 million US dollars. So that means that money is not supposed to be in your account. It's just a pledge that you make that during that time you are going to invest amount as 1 million US dollars in short. Okay, and then for you to get that certification from ZDA, you also need to prove, if you are where you're coming from, you have a company, you need to prove that that company has been compliant, and for example, if there are audits that were done, you need to show, and also you need to have a bank account here in Zambia that should have at least some amount of money amounting to about maybe 50,000 US dollars or 100,000 US dollars. That's it. Then you'll be issued with the certificate by ZDA, Zambia Development Agency. And from that note, we end. So yeah, that's where we are. Thank you so much. I hope you found value from what I've shared with you today. And guys, remember to support the channel. I'm down at the moment because I can't walk, I can't move, and do a lot of those travel videos. So I'm here giving you some information pertaining to how one can actually own land in Zambia. A foreigner or a non-Zambian can own land in Zambia. Okay, so that's it. I'll be doing a lot of these talking head videos, giving a lot of information on real estate, you know, places that you can visit in Zambia and things like that, you know, so that we keep the channel going. But then when we're back on our feet, I'll start traveling and making some great content, you know. But I hope you found value from what I've shared in today's video, and if you have, please guys, please remember also to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also those that are willing, those that feel if it's in your power to actually donate to the channel, make sure that you donate via Western Union, World Remit. The number is on the channel, you can check it out. But also you can also give super thanks. I know super thanks sometimes, because we get to, actually YouTube gets about 60% of the money that is given during the super thanks. You know, there's that button which says thanks there. So for example, there, if you give like a $10, I will receive about $8, and YouTube will get the $6. That's how it works. So I prefer Western Union and World Remit sometimes. So thank you so much for those that have always been supporting me from USA, from UK, from Australia. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. My name is Samson, the Roadman. Bye bye for now. Take care of yourselves.